what I witnessed in 2009, before the presidential election, when Mahmoud Ahmadinejad ran for re-election, was that there was this battle that had its origin in the Iranian constitutional revolution. This was this battle between the people who were enlightened, informed, and educated against another group who were not educated, not maybe well educated, who were somehow ignorant about what was going on in the rest of the world. And those people, of course, let's say the ignorant, they voted for Ahmadinejad, and we cannot say that they were religious. It was religious against the secularists or the rich against the poor. I think it was a clear battle between the people who knew about the rest of the world and they had the information about the rest of the world and were willing to receive the information from the rest of the world against people who were living in very claustrophobic, very contained religious environments. And of course, in Iran, those people who live in very religious environments and in very claustrophobic environments, they are manipulated by the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, who chose Ahmadinejad as his preferred candidate, and also he's the person who runs the Revolutionary Guards. So on June 12th, 2009, people thought that their candidate, many people, pro-reform people, they thought that their candidate, Mousavi, was going to win. And from all the indications that we journalists had, and also some surveys, the secret surveys that were done by different secret agencies that were leaked to the press, we thought that Mousavi was going to win. But on the night of the June 12th, we heard something else, that Ahmadinejad had won the elections with landslide. Ahmadinejad had 25 million votes and Mousavi had only 16 million votes. And that was really surprising to people. It was not only surprising, but it was humiliating. So for 2 days, people didn't know what to do. There were some demonstrations here and there, but on the 15th of June, millions of people went to the streets. And I was in the same streets in Tehran as a kid during the Iranian Revolution and witnessed the Iranian Revolution against the Shah. And almost 30 years later, I saw the same amount of people rising against the re-election of Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. And of course, as a reporter, I just had to report this. And from all the evidence that I had and all the other people had, what happened in Iran tantamount to a military coup. And I reflected that in my reports. So the demonstrations went on for 4 days actually, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on Friday, the supreme leader of Iran, whom I think, unfortunately, most Americans don't know, most people in the world don't know his name, is Ayatollah Khamenei, because people in Iran, they think, people outside of Iran, they think that the dictator of Iran is Ahmadinejad. Whereas Ahmadinejad is really like a prime minister in an absolute kingdom. The king is Ayatollah Khamenei, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. I can write his name for you later. And Ahmadinejad is just maybe a servant to this king. So Ayatollah Khamenei on June the 19th told pro-reform people who came to the streets against Ahmadinejad's re-election to go back home or else. And he said that they would be the people who would have to pay for the bloodshed. And of course, by mentioning the word bloodshed, he was threatening people. And on June 20th, of course, there was bloodshed in the streets of Tehran. I saw some of the worst images that I've ever seen in my life on June the 20th. I saw young people, young women, they were beaten with truncheons, with guns, and with everything that the Revolutionary Guards had, only because they were just expressing themselves. And then I was really, really tired that night. I went home, I went to sleep. Before I went to sleep, of course, I saw the footage of this woman, Neda, who was killed with a bullet in the streets of Tehran. And that was really the last straw. And